Hello, here we are with a comparison of two very popular support type daily training shoes, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 24 and the Saucony Guide 18. Both daily trainers, both with a moderate degree of support built into the shoes to control overpronation or pronation, and both aimed at very similar runners, very competitively priced, very similar prices. So let's have a look at the stats first of all, and then we'll explore how they stack up and compare to each other. So first up, the Adrenaline GTS 24 from Brooks. So this shoe is approximately 10 ounces in the men's, 8 ounce in the women's. That's 283 grams men's, 250 approximately in the ladies. Stack height around 35 millimeters in the heel, 23 in the forefoot. Again, we're always a little bit cautious when it comes to stack heights. This one with a 12 millimeter drop. Different brands measure the stack height in different places. Some include the outsole, some include the sock liner, but it's quoted at 35 and 23, 12 mil drop. So for Brooks, it's a kind of mid-level cushioning shoe. It's an everyday trainer. I think the cushioning is perfectly adequate for everyday use. Fits true to size, $140 in the US and £135 in the UK. The Saucony Guide, that comes in a little bit lighter. Now the 18 is very similar. It's really cosmetic updates to the Guide 18 when compared to the previous version, the Guide 17. Weights are very similar as well. So it's 9.6 for the men's, 8.6 for the women's. That's 272 grams or 245 grams for the women's. Again, the stack height's very similar, only a 6 mil drop in this shoe. So we've got 35 millimeters in the heel, the same as the Adrenaline, 29 in the forefoot. Again, it's a mid-level cushioning shoe. It's not the top of the range shoe, but it's good enough for everyday training, and it has a mild degree of support for overpronators. It is priced $140 and in the UK £130, so it's a £5 reduction over the previous model. We don't often see that, but it does make the shoe a very good value proposition. Now, the support in the shoes in the Brooks Adrenaline comes from the guide rails. It's a very familiar system. They've used that for the last few years, and essentially the way the guide rails work are we have extended areas of the cushioning that cup up, create walls on either side of the rear foot. They're cupping the heel. The foot sits in the shoe and that provides support. Brooks say it's a little bit like the rails at the bowling alley. If you're going to veer off out of the lane to the outside edge or the inside edge, the rail, the rail in the bowling alley will keep the ball in play. This is essentially keeping the foot in a neutral position, and it does work very well. It's very effective, and it's a very efficient type of support. It is also quite effective at controlling supinators a little bit, but for pronators, it really does centre the foot and works exceptionally well, and it works for a wide range of people. The Adrenaline comes in with fittings as well, and that also helps it cater for a lot of size and width options. So it's a very stable, very well performing shoe. And in my store, I have a specialist running store, and we use video gait analysis. The Brooks Adrenaline always comes out as a top pick and a very effective shoe in controlling support. In the Guide 18, same as the 17, the control comes from the whole geometry of the midsole. So we've got a scooped rocker heel and forefoot, and essentially on the medial side, the inside of the shoe under the arch, it's straighter lasted. That essentially, when the foot strikes laterally and it wants to roll in, it does straighten out the shoe a little bit. It holds it in a more neutral position, and by the time your foot wants to pronate, it's into forefoot and away it goes. Tapered edge on the lateral side of the heel. It just rolls the foot through the gait cycle very efficiently and keeps it very neutral. And again, it is very effective, surprisingly so, for a shoe made out of a single density of cushioning. And it makes it an easy shoe to get on with. And it really has the 17 edition and the 18 for the Guide have been a fantastic success for Saucony, much more effective than previous models, and really helped it elevate the sales in the last 2 years, or two models of the shoe. Cushioning. In the Adrenaline, it's the DNA Loft V3 nitrogen injected foam. It's a little bit lighter than previous versions, a little bit softer, more responsive, and very durable. I find Buck's nitrogen foam a really durable foam, no tapering in the no drop off in the level of the cushioning from 100 miles to 500. It feels very consistent and does a very good job for daily training, soaks up the impact no problem at all. And in the Guide 18, it's the Power Run foam. Lots of versions of Power Run Plus, Power Run PB. It's the Power Run, the regular form in the Guide, but again for daily training, it's soft, smooth, one piece, so it rides very smoothly and effectively. In the long term, you do feel a little bit of compression when you're getting 350, 400 miles plus, but it's not a deal breaker. The shoe's £130, $140, excellent value for money. Which one would you choose? Well, try them both on. They both work very effectively, both control pronation exceptionally well and represent great value for money shoes in this price point. So the Adrenaline 24 GTS and the Saucony Guide 18, great value, supportive daily training shoes.